Welcome back. Today, talking about how I'm going to mount this 5-point harness in this 1986 GTI. These don't really have much of a mounting place for this kind of setup. So kind of coming up with an idea of how to make it to where when we mount the bottom parts of the belts, it doesn't just tear through this really thin floor. And if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know that this car, this side's not bad, but the other side, there's a lot of the floor rusted out. This is just super thin. This car has a lot of water damage. And yeah, so general plan here, I'm gonna do it similar to what I did with my Corvette. And if you've been following my channel, you know I'm still working on my Corvette. I got my LS3 that I'm building right there. But the way I mounted the seats in this, you know, the Corvette, I'm gonna do it similar to this. You know, the Corvette has a very thin floor with balsa wood. Yes, balsa wood in between. There is no structure in here at all. There's a little bit of structure at these front mounts, but you'll see what I did here is I custom bent this piece of aluminum into there, so that way everything bolts through this bit of aluminum. And then on the floor underneath, I have it out on this side, but you can kind of see on the other side those strips of aluminum. So what it's doing is the front mounts into this cross mount here, and the back mounts into that back mount there. And then the aluminum up top kind of goes, or the aluminum on the bottom is going to go this way, and then the aluminum on the top goes this way. So it bolts through that, sandwiching the floor together and using that aluminum to spread the load. Now, Corvettes, you can easily get these back marks here to mount everything up, and it's kind of mounted into the roll bar. Well, it's not a roll bar, sorry. The harness bar in the back. And I have the seat out of this car because, you know, it's not waiting for the engine to be replaced. It's not working on it. But I got the idea for the GTI based off of these Teamtech harnesses with these clips. You can get this on pretty much any harness, but, you know, it's really quick to just clip in and clip out. So let me show you the plan on the GTI. So taking those ideas from that car to this one, going to do something similar. I'm going to use these strips of aluminum, and I'm going to use them along the bottom of the car. And normally you could just take these and they bolt through, and this big washer goes on the bottom, so that way it can't pull through. Well, I don't trust that enough. This thing's a tin can. I've already got people at big racetracks telling me that I'm lifting both sides, like 2 of the 4 tires off the ground. When I'm racing with my Hoosiers. This car is super light and it sticks, and I do not have a roll cage in it. This is an autocross car, so I do not want the weight of a roll cage. So I'm worried about these pulling out in the event of a big crash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this aluminum along the bottom to kind of spread out the weight, and then this is going to come through. This washer will still be on the bottom of this and pull up tight against the aluminum. That's going to spread the weight over a larger distance of the frame here. And then the whole point of having these fast clips is right now my wife and I dual drive this. I had these beautifully green and purple stitched pink harness made for her from Teamtech. All SFI certified race stuff to work with these matching Sparkos. Well, that's the plan. So let's get to work. I'm gonna start figuring some stuff out here and get mounting. Well, I'm done on this side anyway. This is the seat all the way forward. Got a lot of adjustment to do with how the harness goes, but now you can see it'd be easy to just clip on. One of them's here. That clips on there. Got another one pinned through on this side. That clips there. And then I said 5-point harness earlier. It's a 6-point harness, which means it has 2 anti-submarine belts. I got one clipped there and one clipped here. And when you do the thing, there's a whole bunch of information on how to properly do this, but the general idea is you want to keep the belt going across your hips, the pelvis, so that way it doesn't go up into your abdomen and, you know, press in on the squishy parts of your body. You want it right across your pelvis, which is the strongest bones in your body to hold you back. So that's why this needs to come back at, like, I don't know, whatever this degree is, like a 45-degree angle back to here. And it's very tight. Same thing up here. You don't want it to be flat. You want it to come down slightly, about 10 degrees. This might come down a little bit more than normal just because the seat is up higher, but that should be acceptable. And then your anti-submarine belts, you know, they come in here through the hole in the floor, and then they go back. You know, a lot of people clip them in to where the side belts do, and that's okay. But on this type of seat mount and rail, you know, this all moves, so yeah, that won't work. So that's why I mounted it there. And then underneath, you can easily see it's not the prettiest, but it is super strong. So this just kind of holds it in place here. This whole bar, all the weight of that side will clip into this one. And then this one is the two anti-submarines. And then you can't see it here, but if I crawl all the way in, I've got, there it is, that one in there. Now I was gonna put a piece of aluminum in there to spread the weight out, but I don't think I need to, because that is all pinch weld aluminum or pinch weld steel up there. And that is really strong. So you see that's all here in the tunnel. And this is a lot stronger metal. And right here is where the stock seats mount in. So I feel very confident that that's not gonna pull out and, you know, rip up or anything like this. This is really strong. And it's right in the middle of this ribbed piece here. So it spreads the weight over both of those bent pieces of metal and not just across a flat piece, because bent metal is much stronger than when it's flat. You know, that's why they're able to get by with such thin metal back here, because it has these little bumps in it, these ridges, and that's what gives it its strength. Otherwise it'd be really weak. So anyway, this one's done. I'm going to do the other side. Maybe I'll show that in video. And yeah, looking pretty good. I got a lot of adjustment to do to get these belts perfect. Well, that's the passenger side done. Unlike the driver side on this car setup, this side doesn't move. It's permanently mounted here. The only person my wife wants to ever have as her co-driver is me. So this seat is basically perfectly set for me, and it's never gonna move. But similar to the other side, I put the bar for the back mounts, put the blade there for the one that goes over. Oh, I disconnected this. Now, while I said that no one else drives in here but me as passenger when my wife drives, sometimes people like to ride with me, and I don't want to have to constantly undo this every time and then set it back to me. I'm going to leave the normal seatbelt on this side, which does work. Last season, we finished up the last couple races using this. It's not perfect, but it does work. It, you know, holds you in the seat. For autocross, it's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't let somebody use that on like a actual racetrack doing any kind of track work. I'd make them wear this and a Hans device. But this is done. Looks pretty cool with the pink. My wife likes that color. Well, she doesn't really like pink necessarily, but it's got the blue stitching and all that, or purple stitching and green, which she does like. Anyway, that's it. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you want more information on this GTI, or check out some other videos. I'll put a link here to all the other stuff I've done on this car. And it's pretty much set and ready to go for the season. Next, after this, you'll probably see some videos of me building this LS3 in the background. Currently working on getting that stuff in there and getting some more parts. And yeah, it's totally torn apart right now. So we'll see how that goes. Until then, hope to see you out on track with the GTI. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.